Hey everybody, welcome back to LDRS Creative. We're in studio tonight, so happy to be back with everybody. Yay! So happy to see everybody coming in. I always love it when you guys don't forget about us. So let's give everybody a shout out. I can see so many people coming in. Jen Dykstra is in from Grand Rapids right here in Michigan, and E. Miller is also here from Michigan. Hello to Angel. And Maureen from Connecticut. Hello, Charmin, right here in Michigan. Who else is here? Cindy Patty is in Central Florida. Hi, Cindy. Sandy is also in Florida. Pamela in South Georgia. I bet you're a little warmer than we are. Also Florida. Hello to Connie. And who else is here? Barbara is here. Margaret Chapman. Hello. She's in Ohio. Lori is in from Louisville, Kentucky. Dee is in from Ohio. You're one of our neighbors. Hello to Angel and Mary Kay. Teresa Jarvis from Fremont, California. Who else is here? I love when you guys tell me where you're from. Elsie's in from St. Catharines, Ontario. Anita from Lemoore, California. Hello to Becca. Also one of our neighbors in Ohio. And Diana is here from Butler, Pennsylvania. It's going too fast. Hello to Linda in Maryland. B is here from Wellesley, Ontario, Canada. Linda is in from California. Hello to Adele. Thank you for having us. She says, thank you for being here. And Linnea, of course, is in here from Pennsylvania, and she's going to be answering any questions you might have tonight. So many people. It looks like Nicole is in Wisconsin. Hello to everybody. So nice. Oh, Barbara says you have thunderstorms mixed with heat. Yuck. Ooh. Jay Haas is in from Ohio, and Terry is here from Smoky, Colorado. Smoky, Colorado? That doesn't sound good because you don't have that capitalized, so that's not the name of your city. That's not good. Uh-oh. Hello, Brenda in Kentucky. Kathy is in from New York. Donna is here from PA, and Mary Frick is in Connecticut. Hello to Beth Valone in upstate New York. I love that you guys tell me where you are. It is so great to see everybody coming in. Okay, so we're going to get moving. We have, boy, I'll tell you, it has been a really, really crazy few weeks or couple of weeks. I think the last time we were here, I'm trying to remember if we were here in between HSN. Were we here in between HSN and Las Vegas? Okay, so HSN, first of all, thank you to everybody. It was such a great time. We had a wonderful time. As many of you know, we sold out of 2 of our kits there, so that was so great. I love that you guys love what we're doing. It's so wonderful. Makes us feel really, really good. Lets us know that we're, creating for you the kinds of things that you want to see. So from there, we went to Las Vegas for our semi-annual trade show. Wow, crazy! Lots of people got stuck there because of the worldwide or global outage. Fortunately, I only had an hour and a half to land my plane. I was one of the very, very lucky people. But I'll tell you, that was such a great show. So many stores. It was our very first in-person event that we've done since COVID. And so it was just wonderful to be there, with all of the store owners and so many other vendors like us, just to be with everybody in person, to have conversations. And it was just really, really, really great. So just so you know, next month, towards the end, I haven't announced the actual date yet, but we do have our fall or autumn, winter, Christmas, Halloween, as well as like all occasions. We have a large collection that is going to be released closer to the end of August. That's what we took to the trade show. It was so well received. I can't even tell you. I'm so excited about it. We have, we're adding to some of our product lines that we know you all are loving, and we've actually added some really, really neat new concepts in terms of stamps and dies and stuff that I think you guys are really going to like. More letterpress, and I mean, just the feedback that we got was just awesome. And we've added so many new stores that are really excited to bring our products into their stores. So as always, we always tell you guys, look to your local stores first. I know we have a website, okay? But I want you to look to your local stores first because they are so incredibly important. And we want to make sure that you support the stores because without your support, they're not going to be able to stay in business. And we need them. We want them. Okay. So, you know, if you see me crafting with something that you really love and you look to your local store, if they don't carry our products, talk to them. Tell them you want to see our products in their store. It'll make it easier for you and better for them. So just letting you know. Okay. And we always say, you know, if any store owners are joining us for our Thursday Live, so if any of you are out there and you're watching and you haven't said anything, you're always welcome to post links to your stores. You're always welcome to, you know, to let people know where you are and how they can find you and, you know, and post links to our products in your stores. Okay, so make sure you do that. Don't stay quiet. Okay, so for tonight, we're going to be working with, the wallflower. So we're going to be doing some letterpress tonight, and we're going to be combining that with the Jordan Alpha jumbo dies. And you know, if for some reason you have, you know, if you're new here or if you've forgotten, maybe we do bundles, and we'll put the bundles out typically for 2 weeks before we do a live, and we'll do bundles in the store of things that we're going to be that I'm going to be featuring. It's not going to be everything that I use on the cards or the projects that I do on the live, but we will have a bundle that gives you a discount on the featured items. So when you look in there right now, you're going to see, you know, a bundle for these 2 items. I don't know. I don't know if Linnea got the bundles up for the next 2. We're a little lagging behind because of HSN and the trade show and all that stuff. So we just figured out today what we're going to be doing on our next 2 lives, and we're going to get those scheduled so that everybody knows what's going on both next week and the following week. So stay tuned for those, and yeah, this is what we're doing. So we're going to go overhead, and we're going to get going. I'm going to show you everything a little more close up. We'll get crafting. Okay, so as I mentioned, wallflower, this is an A2, it's an A2 cover plate, really, and it is press plus foil. So know that with all of ours, you're going to be able to letterpress them. If you have a hot foil machine like a Glimmer, you're going to be able to hot foil with this as well. And it looks like the next 2 bundles are up, so that's good. So if you go to if you do go to our website and you click on the bundles tab, you will see not only this one, but you'll see the next 2 bundles, and we put the dates for when we're going to be working with those. There's plenty of time for you guys to get those in before we do the lives, and or to look, you know, in your stores if you know, near you. Again, look at your retail stores. They're not necessarily going to have the bundles, but they might have the, you know, hopefully have the products, and you can get them at your local stores as well. So this is what we're going to be doing. So we're going to be working with the wallflower. You can see it. And let me zoom in. Excuse me. Dee Dee is saying, is the letterpress and better press the same thing? Better press is, your better press is the platform. That's what the better press is. Okay? It says better press on it. With your better press, you letterpress. Okay? So letterpress is the technique. It's what you're doing. It is what you're doing with your press plates, or some may call them a stamping die, because it's basically kind of what you're doing with the dies. It is very much like a regular cutting die, except for a few things. For those of you that are wondering, these are going to be thicker than a regular die. So you may not just put them through your die cutting machine on their own you don't want to put them through your die cutting machine with the plates that come with your die cutting machine. These are thicker than cutting dies. They will over time do damage to your die cutting machine and the plate system that comes with it. If you put them through there, it'll be an incredibly tight, roll through that machine. When you use your better press, it's going to go through nice and smooth. There isn't very much pressure at all. It's just enough to press this into the paper and transfer the ink. So a letterpress, this is no different, exactly same factory. For those of you that, let me go through this very quickly. Letterpress dies are to be used in a better press or a like platform, similar platform designed for letterpress. Or you can use them like with your Glimmer or something for hot foil. Those platforms are thinner, so that they will accommodate the thicker die. I will call this a die because it's the exact same material as a cutting die, except it's thicker. It also has a proprietary coating that goes onto it that allows ink to be held onto it, and then it releases the ink or transfers it to the paper along with pressing this design, whatever the design is, into the paper. The best paper to use, you could try all kinds of different papers if you want, but the best paper to use is a watercolor paper because it's a cotton fiber watercolor paper. It's going to, the fibers are going to move out of the way, so to speak, so that you get a really beautiful impression. And it's also going to transfer the ink really nicely. Now your ink does matter. Our hybrid inks are phenomenal. They're absolutely phenomenal. You don't want to use a dye ink or a water-soluble ink because you're using watercolor paper, and a water-soluble or dye ink is going to, it's going to, what is the word, feather, so to speak, into that watercolor paper, and you're just not going to get a really clean, crisp impression. So that is what it's all about. So is Letterpress the same as Betterpress? Betterpress is the platform. Letterpress is the process or the technique that the Betterpress does, okay? And the dies or plates for Letterpress will do letterpress, so they press into the paper whatever the image is, and again, the Betterpress is the platform that you're going to use for that technique, okay? So hopefully that helps you. So I'm going to set that aside. This is what we're going to be doing, this gorgeous wallflower, and we called it that because it literally is like a wall of flowers, which I just think is so beautiful. So we show you on the back, you know, what the image looks like, basically in black and white, and then this is what it will look like once you've colored it up. And you can color it up however you like. If you want to use pencils, watercolors, you know, since we're going to be using watercolor paper. You can also, on our watercolor paper, you can use you know, like Copic markers or a, you know, an alcohol marker. You're going to want to be a little careful with it. It's not going to work as well as it does on, you know, like a Nina paper, but it yields gorgeous results, I will tell you. So this is what we're going to be doing today. And then I thought it would be fun to pair them with the Jordan Alpha's jumbo dies. So these are the uppercase dies that I'm going to use. You can use a combination of the uppercase and lowercase if you want. I'm just going to use the uppercase for this. We're going to see how this is going to turn out because I haven't actually made this project. I haven't tested it, but I do have kind of a concept in my head. So we'll see what happens. And then I also decided I may use these and I may not. We're going to see how it's going to go. This is my working set. That's why it looks like it does. But I decided to pull out the Happy Me, Happy You stack stamps. And I will show you this. This is a, you know, as we go, I'll give you more details. It's one stamp. If you're not familiar with it, I'll explain it as, you know, once I get to it. So I pulled the Happy Me, Happy You stack stamp, and I also pulled the Sentiment Stack 2 as well as the Sentiment Stack Shadow die. These can be used together along with the Happy Me, Happy You stack, and then a stack stamp, and then we have a gazillion other themes with these as well. And again, this is my working set, and you can see I have some on the back there that I've already cut. So we're going to see if I use that. I don't know. We'll see. So let's see. I've got, what else do I have here? So let me move this over. I've also, thank you, Jen. She says, I love the stacks. Hello, Sandy. Hi, Sandy. Kohlendorfer is in the house tonight. So is Michelle. Incognito works. I don't know what incognito is.
Don't worry about it.
Okay. I'm just reading comments.
Corrine did ask you how the heat was in Vegas.
Oh, Corrine, yes, Corrine does not like the heat. And I will tell you, Corrine, it was miserable. I don't like the heat either. It is not my thing unless I am poolside or in the pool. And I think it was like 110 degrees while we were there, so it was crazy. So it actually, I mean, here's the thing. We're kind of walking, you know, from one casino to another from time to time, and because it's not humid, you know, I wasn't, you know, wringing wet with sweat. So there was that. So, but it was always nice to get back inside. We did do, not that anybody cares, but we did do some restaurant hopping. My girl, Stephanie, came with me, as she does when I do like HSN and stuff like that, or when we just go on a girls trip. And we had some fun doing some celebrity chef restaurant hopping, and so that was really fun. So anyway, okay, back to crafting. So I'm going to be doing some watercoloring. I pulled out my Prima. You know, I pulled these out. I forgot I had them, and I grabbed these a few weeks ago, and I am in love with them, I must say. So I'm going to be using these for some watercoloring. I've got an A2 card topper. This is one of our A2 watercolors. See, I put the WC on the back whenever I have a stack of them. Sherman says, don't trust what Corinne says because she wants winter all year long. That's something I don't want. I do love the change of seasons. And then with my Nina Classic Crest Silver White 110-pound cardstock, I had a full sheet. Cut it at 4 1/4, scored at 5 1/2, and now I have a tent-fold card base. So we're going to be working with that as well. Okay, first things first, we're going to do some letterpress. Now from here, Alan, why don't you zoom out one so everybody can see if anybody is new tonight. Will LDRS be on HSN August 13th? No, I could not get it together. It was just too much for me to try and put anything together. With Trade Show, we're also doing the Scrapbook and Cards Today event in September. It was just way too much. We will be on HSN again in October, and oh my, we have some amazing things coming in October. I cannot even wait. I wish I could share with you some kind of an idea of what we're going to be doing, but I'm not allowed yet. So anyway, all right, I'm going to give you a little something. We're doing something called, we're going to have something that I call product suites on. Now, a product suite has 3 or more products that are all designed to coordinate together. Individual products, like it could be stamps, dies, stencils, 3D embossing folders, papers, whatever else. But it has 3 or more in the bundle or kit, if you will, and they're all designed to be used together, and some can be used independently of each other as well. So we've got 2 gorgeous product suites that are going to be coming in. So very different from what we've done on HSM, but I'm super excited about it. Okay, so back to crafting here. Sorry, I got something in my eye. I'm working on that real quick as I talk. Not easy to see when you have like a hair in your eye. All this isn't good. Okay. Let's hope it works itself out. So on the Letterpress or Betterpress, you have your guidelines for a 5x7, and you also have your guidelines for an A2. This is an A2 plate, so I have lined it up in the A2 space. As you can see, it fits perfectly. This is the last one that we're doing it exactly in A2. The ones that we've got coming out after this will actually be a 1/4 of an inch wider and a 1/4 of an inch longer, so that we don't have to be quite so precise, and I wanted to make sure that the lines extend a little bit further. So just so you know, we are going a tiny bit wider with them. Now normally I would tape this in the corners. I've got to be a little careful here because, as you can see, some of the designs go in the corner. So I have to be very, very careful. And one of the things you need to remember too is that the paper will flip like this, okay? So I have a corner here where I can put tape. That's actually going to be this corner here. And when I flip it over, you can see it's this corner. So you have to remember we're going backwards with it. So I'm going to put this on here. Try and line this up. And let me zoom in a bit so I can see in the camera exactly where I'm lined up. There we go. So I'm just going to catch that tiny little corner here. Teeny tiny little bit. I hope I'm not putting too much. That's going to be this. Actually, I can do both corners, so that's good to know. So I'm just looking at where I don't have the design. Because this is going to flip over, it's good to tape your design down. So obviously, so it doesn't move. You could roll a piece of tape behind it and flatten it. And yes, Jen, you can absolutely use 5x7 paper and then trim it down afterwards. Absolutely. I will also tell you this. One thing we do have coming is 8.5 by 11 packs of watercolor paper. Those are coming. We will have those we've got them in the next collection coming out in August. So I'm going to catch that little edge right there. So I can't go up in the corners. This is going to be a little too tight in the corner. And then I'm going to catch this one here, I think, as well. Okay. So I think that is going to be pretty good. I think I need to move this over. See how that's coming over? I think I need to move my image. I think my paper's over a bit. So I'm going to slide this over a tiny little bit. For goodness sake. Ah! I don't want to hurt my nails. There we go. You know what? I'm going to get a tool. Just to slide it over a tiny little bit. There we go. I think that looks pretty good. Yeah, okay. I'm probably being too particular here, I will tell you that. I am going to move this tape up a little bit. I think I had it maybe a little bit too low. Okay. All right, so from here, I'm going to go ahead and ink this up in Raven. I'm just going to give it like a little twist, very little twist. You do not have to press real hard with this, by the way. Okay. You just want to check. Make sure that you get everything. If you just kind of rub it on there a little bit even too, that's okay. Just don't do it really, really hard. It's just not necessary. But I do want to be very careful and make sure I get every little bit in here. And, you know, when you're working with a black ink, you can really see if you got everything. And don't worry if you get that ink on your platform, okay? The Extreme Clean Cleaner is going to clean that beautifully. Does a really good job. Okay, so it says better press on this side. Make sure on your little lid here, let me fix that tape. Make sure it says better press on the opposite side as well. So better press, better press. That way you know you've got things lined up. I'm going to run this through. Why don't you zoom out, Alan? There we go. So this is going through my platinum. Oops, that's a little tight. I wonder if I put the third. Ooh, I hope I didn't put my third thing in there. Let's see. Okay. There we go. Look at that. Look how close. Why don't you zoom in, Alan? I know, I keep going back and forth. Right here. Okay. Looks gorgeous. Okay, so I'm going to give this a quick clean. Now, when you're using your Extreme Clean, remember that's just like a, you know, little felted pad up there. This is a dauber. We call it a dauber, not a rubber. Right? So you don't rub it, you daub it or dab it, however you want to word it. to release that ink. If I were doing this on a smooth surface, then I could, just kind of, rub it across the surface. But when it's not a smooth surface, I don't want it to catch, because if that catches and comes off of there, it's a little bit of a pain in the butt to get it reattached. Look how beautiful. Comes clean. Looks gorgeous. Now I have seen where some people have, put pictures and said, my letterpress plate is dirty. It's all stained. What did I do wrong? Well, first of all, you didn't do anything wrong. You crafted, right? But if you do want to clean that up, again, turn to our Extreme Clean. It's going to clean about 99.9% of it. Now I got to move this puppy. When you're working with, remember this is a magnetic base. It's a magnet. So when you're working with a big, plate like this, it can grab a hold. There we go. Look how beautiful it looks. Gorgeous. Little spot right here, maybe a little more. If you really want to, gorgeous. Okay, so let's set that aside. If you, like I said, if you wanted to clean this more, you literally can rub on this because it's a smooth surface. You're going to have some staining. I mean, come on, we're crafting, right? Got to have a little bit of, something to show that we did something. Right? All right, so we're going to pop this out of here. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? You could leave it just like this if you wanted. Do a monochromatic card, put a sentiment on there, and you could be all done. Gorgeous. If I trim that down and put it on a color, a color plate, absolutely stunning. Just gorgeous. Alrighty, oopsie. Looks like I got that flower. Look at that. I just saw that. Oh no. All right, well, you know what I'm gonna do? Because I didn't notice that in time. Had I noticed that in time, I could have gone back and just ran it through, inked up that spot, and run it through again. So, but since I didn't, I'm gonna cheat. I can see where the lines are right there because it pressed it in. So I've got this is just a Copic multi-liner pen. So I'm going to use this, and I'm going to cheat. And I'm just going to go over it with my pen. Nobody's going to know. Just like so. Nobody will know. Easy peasy. Now these lines down here where they don't connect to the bottom, I can bring those in if I want. I can just go like this. Just extend those lines out. Just like so.
Or cut it off.
Or I could cut it off, but I don't want to cut it off because
Because you don't want to.
yeah, I'm sorry. I'm trying not to mess this up. So yeah, I don't want to cut it off because I want it to fit right on an A2 card. So I'm just going to extend this down. This is just where, I didn't have it maybe lined up perfectly, or my paper may have moved a tiny little bit. But if I just put these lines in like so, it's not going to matter. All right. So these are those little fixes that we do. And notice I'm not even worrying about what the image looks like on the plate, because nobody's going to know that I did that. Nobody's going to be studying it so hard and looking at the plate to see what I did. Okay, there you go. Ta-da.
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 Ta-da. Why do you keep doing it? Okay, so from here, oh no! You would not believe what I did.
You put the thing in the water.
I put it in the wrong one.
Yeah,
All right, so here's what I did.
I'll bail you out.
This is where I put my little cleaning cloth, and this is
Where I put it.
this is where I put it, was in my water. All right, do me a favor. Will you go and wring that out and give me a fresh water for my watercolor?
Sure.
See, that's what happens when I craft and try and explain at the same
Walk and chew
time.
gum.
I fail miserably. Yeah, walk and chew gum, exactly. Okay, so I'm going to get my watercolor out here. I'm going to get some brushes. And I'm going to get, this is kind of a small little round brush. It's a 0. I don't want to put a ton of water on here. I'm not going to be doing lots of shading. I'm literally going to make this super easy. Yes, Sissy, I know. Sissy Sue Creations is laughing at me. As is Lisa. Yep. Beth says, I love live. Yep. That's what happens.
Well, I had to deal with it all the time.
Oh my goodness. Linnea says, at least you didn't take a drink out of your paint water. I've definitely never done that. Too funny. Oh my goodness gracious. All right, so let's see. Yes, live. Live is just always just fun. You never know what's going to happen. All right, so I've got my water. I've got my little, cloth here. I got my paints. I have no idea what I'm going to do yet, but we're going to play. So here's one thing I do like to do, okay? I like to have the image next to me so that, because sometimes when you're looking at it all in black and white, you're kind of like, yeah, I'm not sure what that line is. So keep that in mind. So I have this with me. It's always really good to have that near you so you can see what's going on. All right, so let's start off with, well, let me see. I look at my colors here, and I kind of want to go, I'm not sure what I want to do. I kind of want to go, let me think. This is a red, so all, like where I have like the little hearts, this is a little more red-like. I could use a spray bottle on the whole thing, but I don't want to do that. I don't want the whole thing wet right now. All right, so there we go. I'm going to use that, and I'm just going to go wet to dry. So meaning a wet brush to dry paper. And I'm just going to do all these little hearts. They're not really hearts, but they look kind of like them. They're little flowers. And I'm going to do that in red because, well, they look like hearts. Right? So let's get each of these. I feel like my brush is too big. But we'll see what happens. Da-da-da-da. Just with the very tip. I'm not going to be doing any shading, shadowing, any of that with these. Just a single color. I'm also not planning on doing the background in a different color. I'm planning on leaving that white. We'll see.
Are you going to color all the flowers?
Yeah, I'm going to color all the flowers. Of course I am.
Goodness.
What?
Nothing.
Are you complaining?
I don't think so.
I don't feel like I have enough control. See how much longer that brush is? I'm going to go with the shorter brush. I just don't feel like I have enough control with this brush. It feels too long to me. So I'm moving over to a smaller brush. I think it'll give me more control. Girl needs some water. There we go. Like I said, if you don't want to use watercolor paint on this, then do it with some markers instead. It might be even faster for you if you're, wanting to move along a little bit faster. I'm not really going to worry about whether or not I get, like if I leave some little white bits, I think that's fine. There we go. Cool, look how pretty, just that little bit. So finding all of those little, there's more up here. Some of them look like little hearts, some of them don't. But I'm going to do like little clusters. This is one of the things I like even, let me get my head out of the camera. like even in the flower beds around the house, I love having clusters of flowers, like clusters of color. Like the same color, you know. So I'll plant like a bunch of one flower all together in sections so that you get these bursts of color. I love that. I'm right now kind of wishing maybe I had started with the leaves and not with red, but we'll see. Sometimes red is one of those colors you want to add last, but it's going to dry, so I'm sure it'll be fine. Let's get some more paint. We're running out. There we go. So hopefully you guys have something either nice and refreshing and cold or warm to drink, depending on what you like in the evening. And you're just kind of zoning out. That's what I always like to do when I'm watching somebody paint. I just kind of zone out. There we go. Build that up. Let's see, where else do we have these? We've got some more down here. I don't see any up in here, so they're right down here. A little more water. If the paint doesn't come off the brush, then the brush is too dry. All right. Teeny little bit. So yeah, sometimes it takes a little bit of practice to know if you're, you know, oop, uh-oh, oop, oop, oop. A little bit of color there. I'll deal with that in a moment. Let me get these little bits here. I hit the edge of my paper with my brush. Let me get this cleaned off. Make sure there's no color on it. And I'm just going to put water on here, flood that a bit, and pull that off. I don't want that color there. And of course it has to be red, right? Of course it is. Okay. Let's see. Gotta be careful because I got it wet. There we go. Just trying to pull that little bit of red off of there. Like red and black are like going to be your harshest colors to try and get off of there, right? So of course I used red and hit the corner of it with it. What you gonna do? That's pretty good. We'll deal with that a little bit more maybe once it dries. Okay. So wet that again. Clean up on aisle 4. Okay. Now what? I think I want to go back to having a larger brush for some of these. Let's do I think just like the sample, I think I like the idea of having the big flowers in a really pretty soft blue or a bright blue. I'm not sure how it's going to come out. We'll see. I'm going to water that down. And let's just bring this in real soft. I'm going to pull the color from the outside, like down to the center, just so that as it dries, it might be a little bit darker toward the center. But it is watercolor, so you want it to have some freedom of movement too. Kind of pretty. Just very light and gentle. Maybe we'll do one that's a little bit darker. This one. So we kind of vary it a bit. And it's okay if you want to leave like some of those, you know, little white tips on there even. Like the little ends. There we go. Pretty! Pretty, pretty, pretty. How about over here? You have any questions from anybody? It's so quiet. Anybody have any questions? Alan, are you there?
I am here.
So it was interesting when we went to, when I got to the trade show, there were people asking me there, is Alan with you? People missed Alan. Hello. So we have some family visiting. So Mrs. Hunt, my mother-in-law, and my brother-in-law are both in from Texas.
This is what's on.
And so they've popped their heads in here into the studio to see what we're doing, see what I'm doing. And I must look like a crazy person talking to nobody because they can't tell, they can't see you there. So here we are.
This is what I'm doing while she's on there.
What are you doing over there, Alan?
Looking at Formula One news.
So everybody, if you will please say hello to Darren
And Mommy Dearest.
and how about we say Lucia Hunt. They've come all the way from El Paso, Texas.
She's got all the text on her screen. It's YouTube
Alan's explaining everything,
and Facebook.
his technology. Everybody see? Everybody says hello. Yay, Texas. Oh, Sissy Sue says, I'm from Lubbock. We were just talking about Lubbock
Yeah.
just yesterday. Very nice. Who says, oh, Cindy, you're so sweet. She's, you're so good at coloring. Honey, I'm barely staying in the lines. But I appreciate your encouragement and enthusiasm. This is, I'm not even, all I'm literally doing is just adding a stroke of color. This is something anybody can do. It's just the easiest thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's clean up the blue.
Here.
And how about we do some pops of yellow? I'm realizing let me see.
Different ones.
I'm going to do some pink first. I'm going to bring some pink in. So this one over here, this color is like my pinky one.
Here.
You know how much I don't like yellow, so I'm going to go easy on that yellow. We'll bring that in a little bit. And I'm literally, that's too much. I just want this to be really soft.
This is the key.
And again, I'm not going to worry about coloring these in perfectly. I just want to add some color. Remember, this is literally just going to be a background for you. I'm going to do some of these little tulips as well, and some pink, just to get a little bit in there. And let's see, how about some more water? You know, if you notice that the water's not coming off of your, or the color's not coming off of your brush, add a little more water to it. Darren, do you want to join in?
I don't paint. Not as good as you.
Oh, I'm not, I'm just messing around. This is a staying in the lines kind of thing right here. That's all it is. Just little bits, little dabs. Little dab will do ya. Let's get some of these little tulips over here. Yes, it always needs some yellow. I'm not actually a huge fan of yellow, but I do like to have pops of it in the garden. I think one of those, like, you have to have the perfect skin tone to successfully pull off a yellow, not pull off, but you know what I mean, wear a yellow shirt. Let's see. Do a little more in there. Are you calling me Bob Ross?
He uses a bigger brush.
He does. There are no
He does use a bigger brush. And what?
There are no mistakes, just birds. We'll make it a bird.
Yeah, exactly. There are no mistakes. You can't screw this up. You are very correct, young sir. Technically, old man, you're older than I am.
Yep.
All right, let's see.
Do you ever do a two-shot? Or?
Do we have any questions from anybody? Or is everybody just kind of zoning out tonight? Okay, we're going to get a little more. Oh, Teresa, it's just, you have so much patience. Well, I've lived with Alan for a long time.
They're going to defend me, you know.
They are going to defend you. They don't like it when I say things about their Alan. They're very protective of you. Okay, so yes, we are going to get into some yellow now. Because right now it's almost looking a little bit red, white, and blue. So let's get into this yellow here. Brighten this puppy up. That's yellow. That's very, very yellow. Okay. Again, I'm just pulling this in very quickly, very easily. Not worrying about it being perfect. I'm going to get the centers of these other flowers too. That's going to brighten that right up. You missed when we were doing the, you guys missed when we did the letterpress.
Press picture of the images and paper.
Yeah, the one that I'm painting right now.
Oh, you pressed that first. Okay.
Yep, pressed it first. You guys are welcome to watch it back on the replay if you want.
Grandma's napping.
So here's the thing. I don't want you guys to be intimidated by this image. As you can see, I'm just going very quickly.
I was intimidated by it.
Oh, Alan was like, that's going to take you forever. What are you doing to me tonight? But I'm just, I mean, this is very easy painting. I think I'm going to leave that. I'm not going to do so much yellow. I think I'm adding a little, maybe a little too much yellow. So I'm going to come in with, I'm going to leave some of those so I can do maybe some orange in there. And then of course we have to get the green in, right? For the leaves. I'll leave a little bit of space. So down in here, I don't want that all to be yellow. It's going to be too much. I don't like yellow that much. So we'll see what happens. Let's do a tiny little bit in here, maybe up in here. And let's pull one, let's do this one. And then down here, what are you guys doing there? Okay, so we're gonna be done with yellow, I think. We're gonna add something else up in there. I don't know if orange is really what I want, so what am I doing? I think purple is just gonna be too much. I think I'm gonna go back to my pink and maybe put some brighter pink. That one went out of the lines a little bit, but that's okay. So I just have less water. I'm gonna brighten up some of these other pinks so that we end up with 2 shades of pink in here instead. Leave some little white highlights. That's okay. It doesn't all have to be completely filled in. And I'm going to come back up in here and do some of these a little bit darker. Don't worry if you go out of the lines at all. It's totally fine. Get some darker ones up here. What?
A darker pink really helped a lot.
Yeah, it really just kind of makes things balance a little more and pop.
You're not doing all of them, right?
No, I'm just coming into some areas to have a few darker spots it's just so that it's kind of even.
Mm-hmm.
So I have some of the darker pink kind of throughout a little bit. I want this one darker. It's just really kind of about balancing the colors around.
Is that all
There
the
we go.
flowers now?
That's all the flowers.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm even going to leave, because I have so much yellow there, I'm going to leave the centers of some of those flowers white so that we don't have too much yellow everywhere. I think if I put yellow in some of those, it's just going to be way too much. Okay, so now we're going to do some green. I got to look at my greens. I have some olive like greens, but I think that's going to be too dark. I think it'll darken the whole thing. There's this green, which I think is very
Not good.
green.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm concerned that this one is going to be more of a teal. And I think that clashes with the blue.
What about the green third one?
That one?
Right. Yeah.
That's kind of olive.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like that one.
Oh.
It's because he was in the army.
Can you mix it with something?
If I had my Karatake paints, I would, because I'd have more colors to choose from that I could mix so I could customize.
Yeah.
But if you look at it, so Alan's asking me about this green right here, and if you look at it up here, it's very olive. There's a lot of yellow in it, and I don't like how that goes. I think it's, with this, I think it's going to make it too fall-like, so I think I'm going to go with this one here. If I had my other paints, it'd probably be better. Let me see, I might want to...
Should it test or?
Well, I'm going to do one up here, and I'm actually going to add some water first, and it might soften it.
The Wookiee's back.
The what?
The Wookiee.
What is the Wookiee?
The Wookiee.
Oh, my head is in the way again? You're just hilarious, Alan. Actually, I think that's going to work nicely. Either that or I go with a different paint, and I don't want to pull out a different paint. So I'm going to start over here so that my hand isn't going to be laying in it when I go to do other things. You do kind of want to be careful because I don't want to pull into that pink and then reactivate that paint. Mm-hmm. There we go. Yeah, we're not going to be done in 4 minutes, honey.
You can hear that?
I have bionic ears. Haven't we met? Yeah,
You take as long as you want.
I genuinely do. It's not as long as I want, it's as long as I need. Let's get some more water in here. Now we're going to move over to here. Let's see. Got one here. That's a little more saturated. Then we've got one over here. Now I know, let's see, I've got one tucked in here. The nice thing is I can go right over the black lines because those are the hybrid ink. So it is not water soluble, so I don't have to worry about that smearing at all. It's perfectly fine if some of the leaves are a little bit darker than others. Don't worry if you end up with like notice how that kind of, you know, the water is going to move it around. So even if you end up with an area that has, looks like it's a little maybe too heavy with water, let the paper do what it's supposed to do. Give it that freedom to move. A little bit of green at the bottom of that one. There we go. Everybody still hanging on with me here?
Yeah, Sherry Hunt says you're putting her dog to sleep.
That's not a nice way of putting it.
It is therapeutic. Watch
In other words.
Let's get a little more water. We're almost done. It's getting there. There we go. All right, so we're going to come across, you know what, I'm going to actually move this around because I don't want to lay my hand in that. I do not have enough water.
That's your 8 o'clock time.
There we go. What is going on over there? Someone's trying to tell me time is up, I think.
Yeah.
All right, so here I've reactivated that red. I'm going to pull that down. The nice thing about green and red is you can make it look like a shadow. Those are two colors that work really nicely together. No, but you can, like, they actually combine really nicely. When I would color with Copic markers, I would actually, like if I was using red, they're complementary colors on the color wheel. So if you've colored with red, you can use green to shadow it and vice versa, which is really pretty together. There we go. We're getting there. Hang on. Just a few more. I think this is one. Sometimes I'm not sure. If you're not sure and you color it like a leaf, then it's a leaf. This one comes down here, I think. A little bit in the middle there. Am I still on camera? Let's see, it looks like it. I'm gonna try and keep the image on the camera so you guys can see what I'm doing. Let's get the middle or bottom of that. I think we're about done. I'm going to put a little bit of water in here just to soften where I got some of that red. Bring in some more green. Deepen that. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Ooh, I'm pulling more red out. There we go. Can always fix. Got darker greens at the bottom, so I'm going to bring a little bit up in here just to balance. There you go. I'm going to fix some of my yellow here. Maybe even go a little bit deeper with some of it, just so they pop. A little bit at the base. When it gets darker at the base, then it makes it look almost like the sun's hitting it at the top. Add a tiny little bit at the bottom. There we go, a little variation of color. Pop, 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 pop. All right, I think we're done. One thing you could do from here if you wanted to is maybe take like a Copic marker and color that white background in a black. And it would make everything really pop even more, but we're not going to do that. I'm going to leave it very spring and summer. All right, Mr. Hunt, you want to take this water away from me before I make a mess?
Yeah.
Okay, so I know we're over time, but that's what happens sometimes. So from here, now we're gonna pop this up. Well, what are we gonna do? Let's see. Now this is vertical, so this is going to go like this. So I want to come up with I think I'm just gonna put the word hi in the center, and I'm gonna pop that up. And so you guys are gonna freak out when I do this. I just know it. I'm gonna freak out when I do it. Let's try this. Let me get another piece of white. While this is drying, I'm going to cut the H and the I several times with my die cutting machine out of white, and I'm going to stack them up. Do I have black cardstock here? Hey, Alan, will you get me a little bit of black cardstock?
Sure.
So I'm going to cut the H and the I several times here with the die cutting machine. Just get me some, yeah, just black cardstock. Over there. I don't have any over here. Yeah. So I'm literally just going to run this through the machine a few times. I hope this is going to work out. Let me move this out of the way. This is where like I have an idea in my head and I don't know what's going to happen. Thank you. You can just leave it there. I'm going to do 2 more sets in white. Because the idea is that I want it to pop up from the center of the card. This is weird having an audience right here. I don't usually I mean, I do like when I'm teaching classes, but okay. So I've done this 4 times. Hi, 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 hi. Let's get that out of here. Okay, now let's just cut a little piece of paper here. Normally I would do this with my paper trimmer, but in the interest of time, so I'm going to cut the high now out of the black. Okay, so what am I doing? There we go. Now, the scary part. I think this is all dry now. There's one little area that's not dry. And I don't want to put my cloth on it because I don't want to lift the color. All right, while that dries, we're going to go ahead and stack these. So I'm going to stack each of these. Hi, 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 hi. I'm missing that one there. Oops. So you could do this with whatever kind of adhesive you want. Just going to get them all stacked up so I have depth. 1. And if you don't want to do this part here, you don't have to. Like if you don't want to stack it as high, sometimes people don't want to stack the pieces very high because they're going to mail the card. But it's completely up to you. There we go. I love working with the alphas. And this is, you know, also like if you wanted to use lowercase, if you wanted to, you know, have a, you know, somebody's name on the front instead of just a hi, you could do that. However you want to do it. Uppercase, lowercase, however you want to work it. Whatever it is you want to say. Completely customizable. The really cool thing about the alphas too is that they're not only great for cards, if you like to do scrapbooking, journaling, mixed media, they're awesome. They also coordinate and fit perfectly with the stamps. There we go. All right, so there we go with those. Now the high, let's see. You know what? I'm going to do one more in the white because I just decided to do something. I'm going to fill in with it. Here we go. You'll see why in a moment. So I'm going to do one more with the white. Let's cut that out. Yeah, if you wanted to put, absolutely, you know, that's a really good point. Someone said this would be great for a Christmas card. You could actually do this in Christmas colors. So you could do it in what other, I mean, they're make-believe flowers, if you look at this. So they could really be whatever you want them to be. So now I have just one set in white that are one layer. I have one set in black that are one layer. And I will show you why. Let's see if this is dry. This stubborn little stinker. All right, while that finishes drying, I know I've said that a gazillion times, we're going to move on to this. So I've already got some of these. So this is the, and I told you I would explain this to you when I got to it. So these are the stack stamps. And open this up and show you how this works. So in here you have 11 sentiments, but it's only one stamp. All right, so when I stamp this, it actually will stamp those little squares. So you can see it's one big stamp. It actually stamps those little squares. And then I'm going to show you on here. This is the die that coordinates with it. And when you look at this die, you'll see that it has coordinating squares here. And those squares, nope, I hit it right the first time, are going to line up with the squares that you stamp. Okay? And when I line them up, you can see that they line up around each of the sentiments as well, as long as I don't twist it. So you'll see that they line up around each of the sentiments as well. And so there's a cutting blade in between each of those. So when I run that through my die cutting machine, I get all of these sentiments. They'll pop out individually. Everything in white that you see here is going to, it's going to be all those sentiments. So they are all perfectly cut. They have the blunt edge. We also have a coordinating die that has a ribbon cut edge. But this one has the blunt edge. And this is what you're going to get. So there's sentiments like all perfectly cut in seconds. And all of these little shadows that are here, these are done with the coordinating shadow die. So you run this through on your colored cardstock, and I get all of these little shadows that are perfect. Absolutely spot on perfect. Now I have them in blue because I cut them once and I saved them. I always put them in the back of my stamps so that I can save them for use later, which is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to put the blue back in here because I'm not going to use the blue. It's not going to coordinate with my current project, but I may cut this again in black. We'll see how it works. So what my thinking is, let me move these aside for now. Let's move all that aside. So my thinking is I'm going to have my letters. So I'm going to have my alpha here. It'll look better than this. That'll be here. It's just, is that dry? It's getting there. And then I'm going to have the black kind of coming out, like shadowing it just a little bit. You'll see how we do that in just a moment. I'll have the high there. And then I'm going to choose one of these really small, like You Make Me Happy. Or I'm doing a happy dance. These are all about happy me, happy you, if you remember. Or sending happy thoughts. That could go underneath it as well. Okay, so let's see where we land. I might put black behind it like I'm shadowing this. But for right now, all right, here's where it gets a little scary. Let me find my dies again because I'm going to cut right through this. I know we're running way over. I'm going to cut right through this, and I want it centered, and I want it straight. And then I want to see roughly where that's going to be positioned, and I think that looks good. It's a little north of center, so that's good. So let's get this taped on. This is tape from scrapbook.com, so it should be safe when I remove it. I think that looks straight. And I think that looks centered. I don't want it too far away because then it won't look like a high. Okay. We're going to do that one. And we're going to do this one. Let's see. All right. So this is going to go on the die cutting machine. Because that has a straight edge on it, I'm going to angle it ever so slightly so it doesn't push it. Here we go. Hold your breath, everyone. I'm going to run this through. Crossing my fingers. We'll see what happened.
Do we have to do it over again?
All right, so here we go. I'm just going to pull this up gently. There we go. Should be good. Here's the H. Isn't that just cute like that? It's darling. Let's get the I. All right. Put these aside. Now, I'm going to go ahead and adhere this topper down flat to my card base. I'm going to go right up across each of my little edges and along the inside next to the word so it lays flat. I'm even going to go through the center there. Make sure you have it positioned in the right direction. Make sure it's straight as well. Let's try that again. Let's go in the other direction. Driving myself nuts. There we go. There we go. Get those ends. All right, so remember when I cut that extra one, just the single H in the I, not the ones that I doubled up or tripled or quadrupled? That's what I'm going to put now into this place. So it fills in that little bit of a gap for me. I'm actually going to put some underneath here. Those little flaps of the H, make sure those lay down. So this is going to make that flush. And it's going to give me the foundation I need to layer up the rest. Gosh, I hope this works. It's a cool idea in my head. So now we have a high. All right. Now what I'm thinking is I'm going to come in just a tiny little bit off. I think I'm going to layer it up on here first, so I don't have to worry about lining everything up. And then when I lay that over it, you'll see that little bit of a shadow on it. See where I'm headed? Is it coming together?
Pretty creative.
So let's put this on here, offset ever so slightly. I'm going to go just to the left. Just a wee bit. And now that should line up beautifully right on top. And it helps it to stand out a little bit. All right. Now that's going to go on there.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I did not see that coming.
Someone suggested that, but you had that in mind.
Oh, really? Yep, this goes right on top. Isn't that cool? How cool! I love it. All right, so we're going to do this one. And we just need that little bit of edge. Then this one goes on it. So I need a little bit up here. Ah! Slid. Needs time to dry. Look how cute. It's just, I just think it's darling. And then this can go here. Happy me, happy you, happy us, happy dance, have a happy day, which I actually like that one. Hi, have a happy day. It's just like a cute little card that you could give to anybody. And so this one, I think we need to, I'm trying to think, do I don't know if I want to put black behind that. I don't think I do. I think I like it just like that. So I'm actually going to pop that one up on a little bit of foam because I don't want to run the die through several times and get all of those die cuts. So, where's my scissors? So that's going to go on some foam. Let's do it this side. So that's still popped up a tiny little bit. There we go. Let's work on centering that approximately. I think it looks pretty good. Gently lay that down in case I have to move it, straighten it or anything. It's not straight. Ta-da! There we go. A very simple little hi, have a happy day. Oh, Sherry Hunt says, well, folks, I didn't see that coming.
I didn't either.
Wow. Isn't that cool?
No.
I love it. I think it's so cool. Okay. So that was fun. All right. Yep. Let's go ahead.
Left.
Yay! Are we flopped? All right, everybody. So true to form. Gosh, I hope you guys like that. It sounds like I surprised everybody, so that's kind of cool. All right, so true to form, we're going to have a giveaway. And that giveaway is going to be, we have to have, let's see. It's going to be one of these stack sets. All right, so we're actually going to do the Happy Me, Happy You, and the Sentiment Stack 2 die. Ah! All right, so everybody, if you haven't left a comment, then we don't know you're here. So get something out there, even if it's just a pick me. So put something out there so we know you're there. Get that out there really quick because Alan's looking. He's going to draw somebody's name, and we're going to get these shipped out to you right away. Drum roll, please. Come on, you guys do a drum roll sound.
All right, that's too much.
That's too much? All right. Yay.
Sissy Sue.
Sissy Sue. Sissy, congratulations. You are tonight's winner. Sissy, we need you to please send us an email. Send it to customerservice@ldrscreative.com, and we will get your stack, sentiment set, and die out to you in tomorrow's mail. I believe so. It'll go out tomorrow, and you'll have it right away. Well, as soon as we get your email, we'll get it out, like right away. Let's put it that way. So congratulations. Okay. So everybody, that is all we have for tonight. I'm sorry we weren't able to fill up the entire hour for you.
Yeah. I hope the dog makes it.
All right, we will be back next week. We're going to go ahead and get the live schedule. I'll be doing that tonight, so you'll be able to see what we've got coming up for you next. If you check the bundles section on the website, you will see the bundles that will be for the next couple of weeks as well. And there's plenty of time to get those shipped out to you and get them in your hot little hands so you guys can craft with me next time. So, all right, everybody, have a fantastic evening. We will see you next week. Have a wonderful evening. A fabulous what's coming up? The weekend. Have a great weekend. Thanks so much for joining us.